Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you are new. In this video, I'm going to talk about something that isn't exactly easy for me to talk about, but I'm going to talk about it anyway, as best I can. I'm going to talk about how I live with social anxiety, and how Rob lives with his autism. Now, for those who don't know, Rob was diagnosed with autism when he was 13, and to be truthful, I've never been diagnosed with social anxiety or anything. I've just always known that I've had it. Just by the symptoms, and how every time I look up symptoms of it, everything basically relates to what I go through. My whole life I've been shy, but I've gotten better about that over the years. I used to stutter a lot. I still stutter a little, but it's definitely not as bad. I guess what happens to me is I get overwhelmed. And I get overwhelmed, I shut down. I can't do anything. I can't speak. I can't move. I can't think. I can't do anything. I just shut down. Everything just stops. But my social anxiety, though, is mainly when I have to do something I haven't done before. That's when it gets me. I get all the what ifs in my head, and I can't stop it. People say, turn it off, like a light switch. Just don't be scared. Don't be anxious. It's not that simple. You can't just turn it off like a light switch. It's like trying to tell someone like Robert Awesome, turn off your autism. You can't do that. Same thing with social anxiety or any kind of mental disorder or difficulties or anything like that. You can't just turn it off like a light switch. And it gets really, really hard. This is because, as embarrassed as I am about to admit this, because of my social anxiety, I've never actually had a job. I have tried everywhere I live, but I've never been successful. I went to community college. I was 7 classes away from getting my degree, and I ran out of money. And there was nothing I could do. I tried to get financial aid. Couldn't get it. Or something. I don't know. But, so, I never finished. And then, I've kind of been stuck like that ever since. I'm used to doing things that I'm used to doing. I am used to doing stuff by myself. I am way more comfortable doing stuff by myself than with other people. Unless I really, really like you and I'm really, really comfortable with you and you understand me, which is not a lot of people. And I fidget a lot. I've always fidgeted. I can't help but fidget with my hair. I fidget with my fingers like I'm doing right now. And I suck at eye contact. I always have. Which brings me to another point. Like I said, Rob was diagnosed with autism when he was 13, and he deals with that every single day. I believe, and I have for a while, that I also have a form of autism. Only because I've had actually people tell me, at least one person that I used to be friends with told me that she believed that I had autism. But also because when I have done a lot of research on female autistic traits and whatnot, I was surprised at how many I have. So that leads me to believe that along with my social anxiety, I may also have autism. Again, I've never been diagnosed, which is not my fault. Really. I've only been tested once, and that was before I went to middle school, and all it said was that I had mild attention issues. And that was my elementary school, and that was back in the 90s, where back then, it was mostly boys who had the autism and the ADHD and stuff. It was rare that girls had. I mean, girls had it, but we basically went undiagnosed for the most part. I mean, there were some that did get diagnosed, don't get me wrong, but a lot of them went undiagnosed because girls aren't supposed to have that. Like, if you go back to even the 60s, back then, And even before then, of course, it was stigma. You were born with any kind of differences or difficulties, Down syndrome, autism, anything like that, there was a stigma. You couldn't be in normal life. They would send you away to an asylum. You can't be seen with your family like that back then. And so, when your parents are the ones that grew up then, and that's what they learn, I guess it was just kind of ingrained, I guess. I don't know. But it's more like a denial thing, I guess. I've always known that I've had some kind of social anxiety, autism, something. I've always acted younger than my age. I'm going to admit that. It's not something I can control. Sorry. But it is what it is. It's like Rob. We can't control what we have. We are who we are. And we get treated like children a lot. We're not children, we're actually grown adults. And that's why it's called an autism spectrum. Because there's a whole wide range of, levels, basically, of what you can have. Like his, back when it was called as high functioning. That's what he has. A lot of the times, you can't tell that someone has these difficulties because they internalize it so much, like me. Like when females tend to mask. So we see what should be normal and we try to emulate that because we don't want to show our true selves like that in public because everybody will be staring. That's what my thing is. Everybody's going to be looking at me. Everybody's going to laugh at me. Or if I say something stupid, then the what ifs come calling in and then my brain just gets overwhelmed. My brain gets overwhelmed. It's like, I can't handle this anymore. Shut down. There have been times where I would melt down. Most of the time I shut down. And it's just the things that I've noticed. And it just gets really hard. Sometimes. Yeah, I'm used to doing stuff by myself. Like, you see mostly me on camera because even 2 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to do this. Because that's how shy I was. I had to push myself. It's what I have to do, is push myself. But, it gets hard because when you just want to be understood and accepted, but especially around certain people, you think you are, and then other times you see the true colors and it's like, whoa. And you can't get away from it, especially in my situation. And I don't know. I wish I could. And for me, I've always had a hard time ignoring stuff like that. I've always taken even jokes that I wasn't aware that they were actually jokes. I would take it seriously. Because I would know difference, which is another sign of autism. A lot of times I don't know difference between a joke and what's an actual, insult or being mean. So I take it personally. Always have. I don't know why. But it's why you see me kind of looking around because, like I said, I cannot do eye contact. I've never been able to do eye contact. I try my best, and I can only do it for maybe like a second, and I have to look away because it just gets so uncomfortable. It's like you're zeroing in at me or something, and I just can't do it. But Rob, he gets treated like a child too, and we just don't like that. We're adults, and when you're not given the chance, I don't know how to explain it, but like people don't believe you can be on your own or something. I don't know. It's hard to explain, like I said. Like, my other problem is I've always had a hard time verbalizing my feelings and stuff, which I've always been just way better writing it down. So I'm gonna let you in a little I actually started another blog last night. Blog with a B. Dumb blogger. I used to have a blogger a long time ago, but for some reason, last night I just had a feeling that I needed a place to write stuff down and share. And I'm way better at sharing and type, words and typing and writing it down than I am verbalizing. But so I decided I'm going to start a new blogger, which I haven't put anything on it yet. And I will link it down below, but again, I haven't put anything on it yet. So I'm still working on getting it, up and stuff. But it always has been. I can't spit it out. I guess what I'm trying to say, which is what I'm having a problem with right now. I can't spit things out sometimes. So I got all the words in my head. I know what I want to say. I can't spit it out. It just does not want to come out, and it sucks. But for me, and I jump to different things a lot, so just bear with me. It's back to my social anxiety when it comes to jobs. I get overwhelmed. My mind sees me getting overwhelmed. If I get overwhelmed on a job and I shut down, then I get yelled at. It gets even worse. And then I'm thinking, I'm going to get fired. That's all I think about. Because I know how my brain works. But nobody understands that. So we just want people who understand us and don't pretend to be our friends, who actually want to be our friends and want to talk to us and stuff like that. And support us. We don't have a lot of that. But it's hard sometimes when people don't understand. I think that's the main thing for us, is that we just want people who understand and want to be our friends and actually support us, and help us when we need help. Now, people say they're going to help and then they never do. That happens to me a lot, and I really, really don't like that. I don't want to be here in this place. You know what I mean? I would rather be so far away, but I can't. And I hate that. I've been trying to figure out how to move forward for a long time. And yes, I volunteer now at Little Cat Rescue, which in one of my previous videos I did talk about that. It was right before my birthday. And it's awesome. I found that myself on Facebook. And by the way, I found that through Facebook Jobs, and that does not exist anymore. So that's kind of crappy. I found some interesting things there, but it doesn't exist anymore. They took it off, but oh well. But yeah, that's where I found that. And even that is not good enough for some people who say that. Apologies for the plane. There's the Navy base right there. Anyway, who say that they rush it, basically. They say, okay, now you got a volunteer job. Now see if they have a job for you, an extra job. I'm going, and how many times do I gotta explain that this place is a nonprofit? Everyone there is a volunteer. Nobody gets paid, but nobody listens. And what I have looked up, especially for my local SPCA, to get employed there, they want at least 6 months of volunteer work experience of some sort. And I have only been doing this maybe 2 months now because of their renovations. So it's just way too early for that. I'm working on it, because I've had cats all my life, so I'm glad I found this. But still, I'm doing the best I can. And, anyway, we get it. But, yeah, there's that. And so, and then with me asking for help, I freeze up. I freeze up on a lot of things, asking for help for once, and I don't know how to spit it out. So I feel like I'm going to stand there and look stupid. I don't want to do that. So, I figure it out myself because I don't know why, I just freeze up. Talking to people is really hard. I cannot do small talk to save my life. And that light is really bright. Which is another thing I'm about to talk about when it comes to autism. I'm switching up a lot because it just happened. That's just how my brain works, so bear with me. When autism has a sensitivity to bright light and loud sounds, especially high-pitched sounds. I've had that all my life too. Rob has that, which is why he likes to be in a dark room. Light sensitivities, autism, and can't figure out how nobody understands that for the most part. That's why he's in a dark room. I prefer it mostly on the darker side. A little bit of light. It's not right in my eyes like this bright light here, but I just want to be seen. So, but yeah. Like when you go out, when I'm made to go out and listen to music, it's okay for maybe like the first hour, but then it starts to overwhelm my brain. I start to get tired, and when I get tired and overwhelmed, everything starts getting extra loud and extra bright, and that's when it may look like I'm not enjoying myself anymore. You know? Plus, that's not really my scene. I don't do bars and, alcohol and that kind of stuff. And the music, it's okay sometimes, but usually it's not my type of music, and it's not my type of crowd. You know what I mean? Where'd it go? Anyway, it's okay every once in a while, but that's just me. Like, for me, I could spend hours in a bookstore because it's quiet and there's books. Not that I need any more books, as we can tell. But that's just me. I like that. I'm a complete nerd. Books, Star Wars, Once Upon a Time. And I'm not going to go into that because that's just going to... Because I could go on and on about Once Upon a Time and Josh Allen and Jennifer Goodwin, but I'm not going to. Because I would go on and on. That was not what we were talking about here. But, that's just me. I just have a different personality. I'm an introvert. And, I guess the main point of this is how we live. This is how we are. And we just want people to understand that and accept us and actually want to be our friends and, support us and all that stuff. We don't choose for our brains to be like this. Nobody does. We can't help that. We can still have lives and, relationships and love. And the reason why, did I say that before? The reason why that you mostly see me on here is because Rob is not as comfortable talking on camera yet as I am. Okay. I just wanted to make... I couldn't remember if I had said that before, so I just reiterated real quick. But, he's actually making some more videos. He's better behind the camera. And that's because of his autism and his shyness. It's like me. Like before, I wouldn't have been able to do this. And I still freeze up in the stores and stuff when I want to film. And I get my brain, I'm going to film. And then I get in there and, oh crap, there's loud music. There's too many people. And then I get overwhelmed. And I just can't do it. Because I kind of figured, well, how am I going to do this with the loud music? How am I going to film this around people? What if they look at me? And then I get all this what ifs again in my head. That's exactly what happens. In certain situations, all the what ifs just come in my head and I can't stop it. And there's no way to stop it, So, that's just how we do. And we do the best we can. We do YouTube because we like doing YouTube. And I'm creative. I do art and photography and writing and all that kind of creative stuff. Because that's what I like. That's what I'm good at. I'm not good at a lot of stuff, but I am good at that, and I'm pretty good at baking, as we have seen. Rob is more of the cooking. Like the actual dinner and stuff like that. I'm the baked goods person. But yeah, that's just so I'm gonna stop before I keep rambling. I just want to say that if you do support us, we appreciate it very, very much, and we support you, and we thank you. And if anyone has any suggestions, please leave them down below in the comments. And if anyone just wants to be our friend, also leave it down in the comments as well. Because that helps a lot. Because we've had a lot of people pretending to be our friends over I don't know how many years. We've had people trying to break us up too. It sucks. But yeah, we just want real friends, real support, real understanding, and not to be treated like children. Even though, no matter what we like, plenty of adults like the same stuff that we do. Just saying. Well, anyway, now that I'm done rambling about that, autism and social anxiety, they kind of go hand in hand. So he actually may have social anxiety as well. because they do go hand in hand a lot of the times. And they are different in females and males. It's why it's been more prevalent in males, because it's more seen in males. Females, we tend to hide it more. That's basically what it is. We have learned to hide it more because we're not supposed to have these problems, but we do. We can't help it. We go through our lives just like everyone else, But yeah. So that's that. And I'm sorry if I rambled and got off track a few times. It happens. But again, I want to thank you for your support and your friendship and anything like that. So again, if you have any tips or you want to be our friends or anything like that, leave below in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe and click that little bell icon so you know when the next video comes out. And thank you for watching, and thank you for supporting.